Hey everyone, welcome to chapter 2 of the Law of Awareness. I have a little bit of an exercise I would love for you to take the time to try as it's really worked for me, this learning model timeline to help me strengthen my awareness, have a better understanding of my awareness. So hopefully this video will be able to show you. Let me slide over here so you can see the whole piece. I've already started this, so what I would want you to do is go ahead and draw a timeline from 0. You can go to 100 if you want, just kind of stop right around the age that you're at. So I'm currently 40 years old. I know I don't look a day over 20, and so 0 to 40, a little bit of a timeline. So everything to the left obviously is your past, and everything to the right would be your future. And on this timeline, we're going to have a top and a bottom, and the top is going to represent your internal thoughts and feelings and acting during that time. Staying with the positives. We're going to stay with the positives. Try to be lighthearted because this is an internal exercise for you to help build your awareness. And underneath is going to be the results. The actions, any successes that you had. So it's important to kind of think about as you're focusing on awareness. What were you doing, right? So maybe you could make a couple categories. You could have the schools that you attended, what hobbies did you have, what jobs, what other accomplishments, okay? And maybe a degree or something. So I'm going to get us started here. So I've got this in 10-year increments, obviously. Obviously, 0 to 6, I was in maybe some preschool. I don't really have a lot of remembering of that time. There was certainly an action. My parents got divorced. I know it's keep it happy, but my parents were divorced at 1. My mom remarried here at about when I was 6 or 7 years old. I went to a great grade school called Walt Disney Elementary, and we had a couple moves here. I played a lot of baseball. I was a big baseball guy. When I was 12 years old, I hit the first home run, so that would have been here. First home run at Chandler Field. Very exciting, right? So at 12 years old. So I'm just going through any accomplishments. Obviously, when I get older, so at 18 I graduated, right? And I went on to college. I started off with a 2-year college, and I actually played baseball there, right? And then I transferred at 20 years old to East Stroudsburg University, where I started to study special education there. When I go back, actually at 19, I want to make sure I put this. I had my first field experience in education, and that was actually brought about because when I was in junior college, I went back to my old high school, and I did some observations there. And I remember talking to a football coach, and he told me about that if you're going to get into education, you might as well get into special education, because at that time, everything was going to be inclusion. So if I didn't play high school football, I would have never met Coach Stansberry, who talked to me about getting into special ed. So that's where I changed to EC, okay, Exceptional Children, which later, when I was 24, I got my first real job, right, my first pro job as an EC teacher. This is also my wife. We moved to North Carolina when I was 24. All right, positives, and you think about how are you feeling at the time, right? So up here, I'm starting to feel fulfilled. And I've never known what that feels like. And I'm so glad that we're doing the study together because, intentionality is really important to me. And when I did my wheel of life and realized where the parts that were low, it's really important to me. And I know that I'll feel even more fulfilled when I start attacking that personal relationships and that romance and the intimacy aspects, because that's going to make my partnership with my wife even higher and increase not only my fulfillment, but hopefully also hers. So anyway, so when you take the time to map this out. You can use a whiteboard or paper or notebook or whatever you want. Focus on the positive things that happen in your life. But there's there's so many things I just thought about. When my parents got divorced, I was raised as a single child, and my dad got remarried, and he had three daughters. So I have three sisters, and it wasn't until somewhere in here that I got realigned with my sisters. I got three sisters, Caitlin, Lindsay, and Kira, and they're all about 4 or 5 years apart, younger than I am. And just a few years ago, Caitlin and I ran the Maine Marathon together. She ran her first marathon with me, the American Tobacco Trail Marathon, I think when I first moved up here to Raleigh. But so now in her life, she's running these 100-mile runs and stuff like that, right? So like you think about the influence that other people have on you and the influence that you have on other people is really, really important. It raises your awareness, so you're more aware of how can I help other people so they can help me get what I want. And that's what about awareness is. It's being aware. There's this great saying. I hope most people, right, will allow until they make the unconscious conscious, they will allow it to rule their lives, and they will call it fate. But it's not. It's awareness, right? You have to make your unconscious conscious, and you look about opportunities, right? So opportunities. Every time I was frustrated, my conscious has become more aware to the opportunities that were around me. Think about it. Moving from, if I didn't go see Coach Stansberry and he didn't tell me about special education, I may not have gotten into exceptional children. And if I didn't, go into exceptional children, I may not have graduated and easily got a job being a male in elementary school. If I wasn't frustrated with New Hanover County job and my ego wasn't so big about, getting a job as a central office person, I may not have went to the charter school. Right? And because I went to the charter school, it took me to an opportunity as the middle school principal of that charter school while I was at the doctoral program. But the only reason I was in the doctoral program is because I was working at UNC Wilmington, where I was working after I quit the charter school. Think about that. I went to work in one place, left it after 5 months, got rehired as the principal a year and a half later, and that job, that opportunity, that level of awareness helped me write my dissertation, which catapulted me to a state job, which gave me the opportunity to start this business and to learn from John Maxwell, and now to learn from you. So, I'm telling you, do this activity. It's a lot of fun. Take your time with it. Do it with family members. And most importantly, just focus on the positives, because you, as I've already said, you are 1 in a half a trillion chance of existing, and you are unique, and so are your opportunities. So raise your awareness and take advantage. Jump on that opportunity. Thanks. Looking forward to talking to you soon.